again. Alright, I hope I didn't scare you off from that. But last week I did pancakes for you on my gourmet pancakes, and today I'm going to do French toast because French toast has better properties and better usage. Let me show you how that works. But first, let's start with the recipe for French toast. We start off with a good quality bread. You can use homemade bread or you can use, artisan bread. I kind of like this type of bread. Arnold is a heavy bread. It's well done with grains in it. Some breads you get, they're called 12 grains, and that's because they have 12 seeds in the bread. But the more impressive your bread, the more impressive your French toast would be. So, what makes French toast? Well, French toast is essentially 2 eggs and 2 pieces of toast. So it's kind of a diet breakfast unless you really soak it in maple syrup. And now the big thing is that this guy below me, ignore that timer, that's the toaster cooking the sausage. We've got sausage coming with it. I'm not going to show you how to cook sausage. Sausage is the same everywhere. But so this bread has really good density of grains and seeds, and it's got all sorts of things in it. It is not too thick though. It is not a Texas toast or a very thick toast. So I kind of like that. Now, one of the things that makes my French toast better is what I'm about to do with it. Remember, maple syrup. You can buy it in the grade that you prefer. But think of it, it's all natural, totally organic. It's just that it costs a small fortune. Now, I put cinnamon on my French toast. Let's zoom in just a little here. I'll show you what I'm going to do. You don't really need to see my fat gut, but you're going to anyways. I like to put cinnamon on it. And what I do is I sprinkle the cinnamon on the toast, on the bread, fairly heavily. It really covers the toast. And then I pat it into the holes of the toast, in the bread. Then I turn it over. Now I've got these stacked, and I do the other side the same way. And I pat that in. Now, so this piece of bread, and I'm doing this on a sheet of wax paper so it doesn't get all over the counter. So this piece is done. You can see a little bit fell out onto the slice below it. And that's why we stack them. Go one on top of the other. And again, quite a bit of cinnamon. Now the last one, we're going to make 3 slices because I believe the pan will fit 3 slices. It might not because these are big pieces of bread. But I'll make 3 slices and we're only going to eat 2. And you'll see how and why that is. Now, I'm going to wash my hands, be right back. We have 3 eggs here. And the rule I was brought up with is that 1 egg will make a piece and a half of French toast. So that means to get 2 slices of French toast, you really need 2 eggs. And to get 3 slices of French toast, you need 2 eggs. But we always add an egg, excuse me, You always add an egg for the little fluffy dog, because he likes eggs. Now we add a little bit of milk, and again, the recipe I've learned for milk is that you add like a half an eggshell for each egg. So that's like 1 eggshell, 2 eggshells, 3 eggshells. And depending on your dexterity, you just beat these up like this. I've been doing this since I was around 8. So I've got the technique for beating eggs pretty well. And you can see they're still eggs. They're not all nasty. And we don't put anything else in them. Some people like to put cheese in it. Some people like to put various other things in it. I know at my work they used to put sugar in it. It's like, I got enough sugar in it. Now, we're going to bring this over to the frying pan, which should be heating here. We'll pull the bread over. Again, we're using a piece of wax paper to keep the cinnamon from getting all over the counter, because it's a real mess to clean up. This is my milk for the rest of the breakfast. I like a glass of milk when I'm having sweet foods, because that way it kind of washes the sweetness down a bit. And I'm just going to peel the butter and use it to grease the pan. And again, as I said in my last video, I use butter instead of oil because with the butter you can tell when the pan is hot. The butter gets lightly brown. It shouldn't burn, it shouldn't smoke, but it gets lightly brown and it bubbles and it sizzles, and that tells you the pan is ready. So we take the French toast, we put it in the pan, in the dish with the egg, and I flip it at least 3 times so the egg has a little chance to soak in and we get all the holes and crevices. And you got to do this without getting egg all over everything. And 3. I might do that one a little extra. And you can see there's enough egg left for another one. We wanted to make another one. On over here. Ugh. The French toast looks like it's done already, but it's not. That's just the cinnamon on it. And we will keep an eye on those. The pan is hot, and so it is egg, and egg burns. So we're going to flip them almost instantly because this is a round pan. You got to be tricky flipping it because, and you can see the edges of the bread is getting brown. Now, after these have sat in here for about another half a minute, the egg will be mostly cooked, but it won't be firmed up and dried out. And I kind of like it firmed up and dried out. I don't like soggy French toast. Some people like French toast that is scrambled eggs with bread inside it. I prefer bread with egg and cinnamon inside it. But if you take these out of the pan right now, throw them into a plastic Ziploc bag and throw them into the freezer, these are excellent for taking camping and putting them in either a toaster oven or just throwing them in the pan for just a second to warm them up, like this, with a little butter. And it doesn't make any mess. You don't have any egg to clean up. You don't have any cinnamon to clean up. You have perfect French toast for camping. And I do that a lot. because I don't like cleaning up messes when I'm camping. I'm going to flip these again because this fire is a little hot. This is a gas stove, and I haven't really figured out how to regulate the fire, but I see on the sides over here the butter is burning, so I know the pan is a little too hot. So I'm going to turn the stove down and let those sit. And really it's going to take about 10 minutes for those to cook to the way I like them, because I like them fully cooked. I like my eggs real pretty dried out, not like rock, although rock isn't bad either, but I don't like them if I touch them. Actually, these feel pretty good. This is so thin, this bread is so nice and thin, and usually when I make French toast, this is the way I flip them. I just grab them and flip them because I can feel them. Ooh, that one got me. A little too much butter. The butter burns the fingers. So, I pulled these out of the pan and they're done. They cooked a little while longer. Now, I'm going to put a little butter on them. And this is another camping technique that if you don't want to make a sticky, syrupy mess, if you put butter on them, and you need to put a little more butter than you normally might, but if you have a little shaker of powdered sugar, which everybody should have in their camper, you can put powdered sugar on them. And that makes them really nice. That makes them exceptionally good. And you can see it doesn't really make the plate dirty. Now you gotta wait for them to cool down. But you can pick this right up, fold it in half like that, and then you can pick it right up and eat it. And that is so good. I'm going to eat the other one with the maple syrup, but this is one way to do it at camp. I get my fingers a little dirty, not much, but these are really good. It's really good for you. Like I say, it's essentially 2 eggs and 2 pieces of toast with a little butter and sugar. A hot breakfast. It's very filling. It keeps you from being hungry for a long time. So, thanks for watching, folks. If you like the cooking show, these will all be in a playlist. I'm not going to have these in, I'm not going to do a lot of these, but I'll have a playlist of cooking recipes and cooking comments and stuff like that. So feel free to go over to the playlist. I'll put it right up here, and it'll be at the end of the video. There will be screens, little squares with playlists on them. So check out the other recipes. Check out the other videos, all the camping videos, hiking videos, and especially Aquila. Aquila is trying to be a movie star, and he's doing pretty good. He's also looking at me like he wants this French toast, which he isn't going to get. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Great having you along. I do this only because you guys come. If you weren't here, I'd probably be eating cereal today. Alright? Thanks, folks. Bye-bye. Oh, one last tip I forgot to tell you is when you make French toast and you're using real maple syrup, when you pour the maple syrup on, you just pour a very small puddle in the middle of the maple syrup, or in the middle of the French toast. You do not drown the bread in maple syrup. You can spread this around so that's on all the pieces, but you don't want to drown it. You just waste the maple syrup, and it takes away a good deal of the good flavor of what you cooked. So, there it is. Thank you. And that's all, folks.